Thank you. For everybody that's joining me, for everyone trickling in, welcome. Good to see y'all. As was mentioned, my name is Alex. I direct partnerships at Nice Job, and I'm here to talk to you about some really cool stuff. So we'll jump into it all right away. First of all, this is what we'll be talking about today, the importance of an online reputation, talking a little bit about where the particular pitfalls are, so some warning signs where you guys may be falling behind, and then ways to move forward on that. Additionally, we'll talk about a customer playbook, and then finally around the scaling with automation section. That's where you'll get those notepads out and we'll start taking some really deep, concise notes. So with that, I'll start with super simple question. Let's start with you guys in the back. Do you guys know how many reviews your business has? Not many.
Like 6.
Unfortunate. I mean, I imagine like because you guys are here.
It's fairly new.
Oh, regardless, you guys probably do good work.
Website is anyway.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, see. No, and we'll get into that too. So your online reputation and like those reviews, incredibly important, and we're gonna get into that right now. When you actually look at the metrics from a like statistical standpoint, 98% of customers will trust reviews more so than literally any other advertising you put out there. Like that includes print ads, any other testimonials or anything. They will see that review and think, this is true, this is honest, this is unabashed. Additionally, 68.7 or close to 70% of SEO is actually directly impacted by reviews themselves. Quick show of hands, anybody here for the Mr. Pipeline conversation yesterday? No? All good, doesn't matter. Those guys are really great, by the way, if you ever need advice on not only reputation, but also just SEO and other marketing, great guys to talk to. Their basic premise was that your online presence is everything in today's day and age. And they went into great detail about SEO, all the various different marketing tactics, and they ended it with basically saying, you need to pick the right strategies that work for your company individually. I'm here today to talk about one particular strategy that I think is going to work really well, and that is automating reviews. A little bit more when we talk about that. The reason why it's so important is that it actually has a 4 times higher conversion rate. So if you're thinking, okay, how am I actually going to get those leads? This is going to be the way to do it. It's 4 times more likely because, again, they want to get that referral. They want to understand that people have actually used this and that they actually trust it. So when they see that, they say, phenomenal, I should go with that. Very, very simple premise. However, some of the pitfalls I think are where we should actually focus on here for just a minute. So when it comes to falling behind, really this is more of a concept rather than particular things that you should be doing. A lot of people think, okay, I just started my company, you guys just started your new organization, I need to put out a print ad, I need to go do digital ads on like Google or Facebook or whatever that might be. There are all these various different tactics that I can be doing, but I don't necessarily know or have one unified strategy around it all. So starting off from a very, very basic premise of saying, we should look at reviews, we should just look at a very basic marketing strategy versus going and neglecting all this other stuff. So again, the strategy here is not to say, I need to be doing all of these things. The strategy should be, I need to be looking at my online presence, because if you neglect that, you're gonna get low visibility, it's gonna be poor search on Google, and additionally, you're not gonna be responsive to reviews. So if people are actually leaving feedback, if people actually do wanna talk about you, that's essentially left behind because they have no means to do so. And so if this is so important, if this is such a really direct concept, why is nobody actually doing it today in practice? It's a really good question. The answer is really linear. So firstly, it's really the failure to understand like building trust online. So being intentional about it is incredibly important. So you can't simply say, I run a good shop, I have a great team, people will talk about me simply by virtue of me doing my work. It has to be significantly more intentional, directly asking for those reviews, directly walking up to people and saying, hey, like, talk to me a little bit about what your needs are, having conversation with customers before and after. That's, again, where it'll fall behind. Secondarily, belief that, again, if you guys just do a good job, the reviews will come naturally as a result of that. So even if you're not intentional, you may be thinking to yourself, totally, these people will talk about me, like I do good work, I'm known in my community, these reviews will come. And that's simply not the case. Like if you look back at the statistics, I think it's about 17% of companies that only ask for reviews. That means a vast majority of companies in general will not. However, it's about 70% of actual customers that want to actually lead the review. So if you're not asking, if you think that it's going to come naturally, they may simply forget, they may not do it. And again, that's money just left on the table, because that is going to build trust for your company. So why not be, again, a little bit more intentional about it? When we think about the actual nature of reviews, some people also think that it can be awkward to ask for it. Like, you've just done all the work, you're sitting there, you're a tech, you're maybe a little sweaty, and you walk up and you're like, hey, please leave me a review. It can feel weird, and like a lot of people don't necessarily like that friction. So most people will maybe take a step back or say, like, if you're comfortable, here this is, just leave me a review, and not actually give the harder call to action. Meaning that in their head, in the consumer's head, they're saying, oh yeah, it would be nice if I left a review. It's probably not a big deal. I'll get around to it when I get around to it. And then even if you give them a card with like a QR code, they'll forget it. It'll end up on their coffee table, and then there's no review. And then lastly, this was, I think, something that'll resonate with everybody here, just juggling too many responsibilities. So even if you want to be intentional about it, even if you see the value in reviews, you still may be doing all this at once. You guys could be like a two-man in a van type situation, or you can have a whole fleet of trucks or a whole fleet of people working for you, but you may still be juggling too many hats. You still got to do payroll. You got to look at any other marketing strategy. You got to actually handle your business. So usually in those situations, the marketing will necessarily fall behind, because first and foremost, you want to be doing a good job. So a lot of this stuff is what trips everybody up when they're actually trying to get into the online space, reputation management, so on and so forth. So let's talk a little bit about ways to change that. And we're going to do it particularly with our customers. So when I'm talking about customer-driven growth, it is a very direct, basic premise. It is turning people that use your services into your sellers. It's a very natural idea to think, I work in this community. I live in Wisconsin. So let's say I clean gutters in Wisconsin. I live in Milwaukee. I know that people in my area know me. I know that people want to work with me. So people should want to reach out and like tell other people about me. That should be the case, but we want to make sure that we're actually facilitating that process. It's not enough to just think, again, I did a good job, so my community will speak to me. We have to be a little bit more intentional about it, and that's the entire premise around customer-driven growth. So when we're driving the experience, they're going to bring one additional customer for you, and this will again be proxied through reviews. Additionally, we'll also talk about referrals and other ways to facilitate that. But even if you're just going with the route of just, hey, give us the review, that review will necessarily bring another person, because this is buying habits. This is buying behavior of the modern millennial, the modern Gen Z person. These people will end up buying houses and needing all this work. The first thing that they do is they go online, they see what other people are saying. Let's go to Facebook, let's go to Reddit, let's go to Instagram, let's go to just their Google business profile. If I Google search best gutter cleaners near me, I want to see all those reviews, because all those customers will want me to also work with that team. So all those people are essentially your marketing, your sales, all wrapped up in one. So let's talk about a little bit about what that life cycle actually looks like. Very, very first step, again, this is something that I don't have to explain to you guys. Just do a damn good job. Create an amazing customer experience, go the extra mile. This is again something that has probably been repeated ad nauseum to you guys, but it is truly and fundamentally step one of this entire process. You just want to do the good work, be a good person, and show up every day. It's very easy. You guys are already doing that already. Here's something that's really interesting. So I'll pick on you, Leroy. How many times have you asked for a review this past week, or maybe like part of your team? How many times have you guys done that?
Every job.
Every job?
Yeah.
Good, because that is literally what I was about to say. This needs to be every single job. So the next step is actually capturing that voice. We'll go into tactics in a little bit here, but whether that's literally the direct ask, whether that's sending out an email afterwards, whether that's a QR code with a, on a business card, you have to ask every single time. Be Leroy, ask every time, because it's necessarily going to lead to more conversion, more results. So be like Leroy. This is the part that everybody misses in the cycle. So it's not simply enough to actually collect the reviews, it's about amplification. So we know that people, they're gonna go on Google, they're gonna go on AI, they're gonna search for, best gutter cleaner, best gutter repair near me. We know this is gonna happen, but we wanna actually preempt that, and we wanna go even more. So even before they're searching, we wanna make sure that these things are visible in their area. So what you want to do is you're going to want to amplify that. So take that review off of Google, post it on your Facebook. Why not? Make that a Facebook post and say, hey, look, Alex just left me an amazing 5-star review. Here's a picture with me and him. We're sitting there, we're smiling, clean gutters in the background, bunch of trash there to signify the work was done. Why not? We want to make sure that not only are those reviews available for when they're being searched, we also want them to be amplified and available for people just natively in the ecosystem. So on your website, on your Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. Not a lot of people use it, but people actually people will go there for information. If you go on the Milwaukee subreddit, people are talking all the time. Where's the best pizza shop in town? Hey, any recommendation on a good carpet cleaner or anything of that nature? That's where the conversations are happening, and that's where these need to be amplified. Create an Instagram, and just all you have to do is just repost your reviews, and that's literally it. And simply by proxy of doing that, you'll get more attention and more visibility from people trying to find these services. Lastly, this is where the cycle becomes complete. You want to make sure that you give people opportunities to drive more customers to you. So this again completes the cycle. You have done the good job, you have asked for the review, you have amplified the review, and now you want to give these people opportunity to very easily recommend you. Literally on the QR code when you ask for that review, that can also create have 2 QR codes on there. One as a review thing, and then the other as a link so that they can give out referrals. What that really tells them is not only do you trust them to disperse that information, you'll also be able to give them offers and incentives on the back end. So you can say, hey, look, if you refer a customer to me, I'll give you X amount of percentage off of your next service. Could look a bunch of different ways, but we want to figure out new and novel ways for that to happen. I was talking to a pressure washer, this is about 2 weeks ago at another conference, and every time after he does a job, he'll ask people, hey, I just cleaned your deck. I bet you're having a party or something, like, what's going on here? Why did you get your deck clean? And inevitably they'll say something to the effect of yeah, we're having a party, we're having a graduation. So not only will he ask the review at that point, he'll ask for that date of that party. On the day of the party, he will send cookies with his branding, his logo, and say these are just from me. Have a happy graduation, have a happy party, whatever that might be. That gets everybody in that room talking about him and then amplifying his voice. So then the homeowner gets to say, hey, yeah, this guy, he was amazing. He did all this work. He did my job for me. Oh, I have his card. Here, you can directly use that QR code. Go sign up with him. Talk to him tomorrow. We want to create those opportunities for everybody because that is where the growth is going to be. So this is something that I think is actually really, really fascinating. I'll pick on you guys this time. So I imagine you guys probably have at least one review, I would bet. Fantastic. How often are you guys actually responding to your reviews?
I get a notification whenever they do it, less than 30 minutes.
There we go. That is going to be, and we'll get into this as well, a lot of this is going to be based around automation towards the end of this conversation because we want you to be responsive to those reviews, but we also want to make sure that you guys have free time to actually do this. Now I want to take a little bit of a deviation because I want to show you how Nice Job does it internally. We literally practice what we preach here. So I will start with a little bit of a shameless shout out if I can find the mouse. There it is.
Hi, this is Brad, owner of Heroes Lawn Care on the Florida Panhandle. Before using Nice Job, I had this really painful process of calling the customers, seeing if they liked our service, and then drafting an email and sending a link to Google review that wasn't really working. So I was losing reviews and it was a cumbersome, painful process. The Nice Job was the exact opposite of all of that. I was able to import all of my customers, bam, done, listed right there. And then I would call them and say, hey, would you like to leave a review? If they were happy, they said yes. I'd hit click, and then boom, off goes the review. You just received it, and a nice professional drip campaign, and their support has been awesome with getting all that stuff set up, customized directly to me. It's been great. So you need the reviews to make your business autonomous and cheap and cost effective. And so it's great, and I swear by it. So I'm going to go back to delivering smiles through greener, cleaner grass over here. You take care. Use Nice Job.
And that's it. See it? No, I'm kidding. So that was step one in the process. We created a good customer experience. We clearly did the job. Brad's happy about it. I'm happy about it. What's step two? he leaves us a review. So this is on G2, or I'm sorry, this is actually a Google review. We also use G2. It's more of like I'll tell you guys more about it later. But basically, not only did we go through the effort of doing a good job for him, we asked him directly for a review using our platform. He leaves it for us. We're super happy about it. But again, we want to complete the cycle. So we want to amplify as well. Our platform provides various different widgets and other ways for that to happen. I'm summarizing right now because we'll get into it more in just a little bit. But in short, not only do we have that review, we want to make sure that when you hit our website, when you go on nicejob.com, very readily available, really easy to see, and it's right there. You can see right here on, if I can do the little laser pointer, you can see Brad right there, a little bit of a testimonial here, and then additionally, a little bit of that social proof that shows not only is Brad saying something about us, but we have thousands of other people having a very similar experience. And lastly, this is more of like a generalized thing. So Brad would have essentially like a referral code that he can give out to other people. This is what it looks like in practice. We tell him all the time, hey, if anybody's into us, just tell them. You can just give them this QR code, give them this like referral link, and just let them make their own decisions. This is the cycle in practice. We do it exactly every single day. And again, if you leave here with nothing else, remember this cycle. You want to do the good work. You want to get the review, you want to amplify that review various different places, and then finally provide opportunities for those referrals. Take those reviews and turn them into referral opportunities. This is the part where we get out the pen and pad, because this is the brass tacks stuff that you guys can do immediately after this to get into all this. Step one, and this is actually crazy. I met somebody today that was, they don't have any Google presence, they have no Google business profile, very successful person, and it just absolutely blew my mind. I'm like, how can you not have a Google business profile? This is step one for everybody. Claim your business profile, update it, keep it active with relevant recent content, and then add categories. Basically, we want as much of this filled out as possible. The reason behind that is essentially SEO. Google sees something complete and they say, oh, this is real, this is legit, let's surface that up a little bit. There is hundreds of different factors that SEO can break down. I imagine John can have a full conversation with you all about that. But in short, this is one of those very direct, easy things you can do immediately after this to just boost you up just a little bit. Second thing, you guys are gonna ask in person. You can leave the card, follow up. Do second, third, fourth touch points. We actually find with our tool in particular, if you go 4 separate touch points, you actually get most results on that third or fourth one. Most of the examples I'll use will show like, the first one say like 8% conversion rate, maybe it goes up to 12%, then it jumps to 50, and then back down to like 32. And you think to yourself like, why does that work? Why does that happen? The answer is that very similar to everybody here in this room, everybody else has lives, we all got kids, we have responsibilities. Sometimes we forget. Leaving a review for them is nice, but it's not necessarily important in the same way that it is for everybody in this room. So providing them multiple opportunities in order to do so will lead to more reviews. So leverage technology, leverage text messaging and email, and send that out at scale. This is something that, again, a lot of people also miss. So you've set up your business profile, you're asking people for reviews. Who are the people actually asking for reviews? Or who are the people actually doing the asking? Your employees, the people actually going in and doing the work on a day-to-day basis. If you have people under you that are doing the work, we want to empower them. Go through all of your reviews and pull out the ones where people are mentioned by name. Spiff them, give them a reward for doing that. Say, hey, I saw that you were mentioned in 4 separate reviews this week. You are kicking ass. I want to give you this, like, I don't know, $20 Amazon gift card, or whatever specific incentive you guys want to look there. But recognize that, and whatever means you're using to track that, make sure it's efficient. This could be anything from a simple Excel sheet or via NiceJob, which has an automated, with AI, we have an automated means by which to pull out individuals' names that are mentioned in those reviews, and then we can show you how many times they've been mentioned, what their average rating is, and then you can use that as your means to actually spiff them. You could even gamify it and turn it into a leaderboard so that people actually want to do it and want to compete in it. And then again, this is something that I already kind of touched on. I want to go into a little bit more detail there. You can see it goes 13, 10, 8, 16. This seems very contradictory, but this is how people actually work in practice. We've done this math multiple times over. This is real world data that we have. And again, we get distracted. It's very easily distracted these days. I was on my phone like literally right before this presentation, but I got a marketing email that I forgot that I didn't respond to. And look at that. I now remember that I have something to do. Give people multiple opportunities. Whoa. Not only multiple opportunities, but multiple different places. That's another thing that is very interesting. Most people think, okay, I want a review on Google. Facebook has reviews, Homestar, Better Business Bureau. There are so many different places for your company to be actually arisen and for people to actually come and find you guys. Most people will go through Google. We recommend everybody, if you're starting as a default, give them 2 options. This is actually a screenshot from our platform right here. Most of the time it'll just say Google and Facebook. If you want to give them more, you can give them more. But again, I will recommend just start with Google and Facebook. Easy, direct, most people will use it, most people will be able to do it. But if you can give them multiple options in order to do so, that increases the chance that they will actually leave that review. It's really, really hard to think that some people don't have like a Gmail or don't have a means to leave a Google review. It's true. My parents, they're on, this is dating, it's like SBC Global, so like the legacy AOL like email system that's now through Yahoo. They won't touch Gmail. What do you do for a person like that? You have to give them an opportunity in order to do so. And we actually just went through this myself. Like my parents just did a remodel at part of their house and they're like, oh, we can't leave a Google review, blah, blah, blah. So I walked them through it and all that stuff, but these are real world things that actually happen. You have to make sure that you address it. And lastly, again, be like Leroy. Respond to all your reviews. Have a dedicated day, a dedicated time, whether that's once a day or once a week. We want to make sure that we're getting back to that and make it easy on yourself. You can segment even just like your email inbox to say, okay, anything that's Google review related, I just want to go into this one inbox. I'll go in there once a week. I'll address it all. Maybe even send an alert that every time you get a review, you just kind of look at it. And if it's below 3 stars, you know, okay, I need to respond to that like today. If I get a 1-star review, I'm responding to that today. It needs to be essentially habit in the same way that going through all of your normal processes on your day-to-day is habit as well. Yeah, see, there we go, yeah. It happens, you see it and you're like, shoot, that urgency should come with that. And addressing that, quickly deviating from this, I had a dude who did a gutter job, cleaned everything, took pictures, all that stuff, and then asked for a review, got a 1-star review because apparently they didn't do the work. And the whole reason why the customer said that is because they took a picture from ground level, whereas their previous people, they preferred that like up top view. Yeah, insane. That guy responded to that review in like a few hours, reached out to her directly and said, hey, I want to make this right. Let me come and make sure. I'll come up. He literally just like got in his truck that same day, got on a ladder, went up there, took hella photos for her, came down and said, hey, I understand what you're saying. Here are the photos to prove it. I hope this makes up for it a little bit. That one response changed that 1-star review to a 5-star review for him. So little things like that are gonna make the difference. Address those 1-star reviews, even if it's just saying, hey, my bad, I'm sorry, here's a percentage discount off for whatever other services you might be having. But again, it will make the difference for you all. And then this is a little bit of the secret sauce right here. Once you get those reviews, we want to surface them in multiple different ways. This is social content. This is your marketing. These things are going to be coming in simply by doing a good job and by being intentional about it. Once you have that intentionality, post that multiple different places. Put it on Facebook, respond in Google, try new things like Reddit, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever that might be. Surface that in many, many different areas so that people have access to it. And then finally, every customer brings one more. Use technology as a means to actually give those things out. So it's not simply enough to say, hey, tell people about us, use a QR code. You can use our system, which automatically will be able to send out those responses and QR codes and referral codes to everybody there. Whatever technology you choose, leverage it. I know it seems really difficult. Most people want to stay a little bit more old school, but it will make the difference, even these 1 or 2 different changes. It doesn't have to all be tech too, but find different ways to make your life easier. We'll get into automation here in just a little bit, but that is the purpose here. This is real life, actual thing. These guys are really awesome. If anybody's in Charlotte here, sorry, I really like these guys, but I imagine y'all are good too. This is a real story. So they came to us with 0 reviews. They've been in business for about 5 years or so. They just couldn't actually do it. They're sitting at way more. This is a little bit out of date, but they got 844 reviews, I think, within 5 months or something of that nature. It boosted them to the top of Google right here, and that's what we want to see. We want to actually use reviews to affect SEO. And you can see essentially like the hockey puck kind of go up. It kind of starts gradual, and then boom, like in about what, year and a half, 2 years, they've doubled, essentially tripled their review game. And this is what we want to do for teams like yourself. Check these guys out, reach out to them if you want like an independent review on what Nice Job is. Good guys to talk to. Here's the fun part. So this is where we get to talk a little bit about Nice Job in earnest and talk a little bit about automation. So the reason why technology works is because it does things that we can probably do, but just significantly faster. Nothing new to anybody here. We know that rather than picking up stuff by hand, we'd rather use a weed whacker. We want to make sure that at Nice Job in particular, automation is top of mind. We want to make sure that you guys aren't missing opportunities, that you have more referrals, more reviews, and we have particular tools in there to do that. These are two of the, I think, the greatest opportunities for us at Nice Job to articulate to you. So this first is, again, that thing that we talked about previously. Those are going to be our metrics, those are insights. This is actually a representation of the Nice Job process. So we send out 4 different touch points after a job is completed. That can be automated or it could be manual depending on your preferences. And this is all going to be automatic as well. So you guys are out day over day, week over week, doing the work. After the job is complete, let the technology take care of the rest. Allow them, or allow us, to push those things out so that you guys can get those reviews at scale. And you don't have to do anything different than whatever you're currently doing. You can still ask in person. You can still give a QR code. Although at this point now, it'll be a Nice Job QR code. And not only will they be able to use that, they'll also separately get reminded if they haven't actually completed that review. Again, make technology work for you and make it easier. You can again see this total review summary right here. This will show essentially your progress and how you guys are actually doing from a review perspective, and also technically from like a social proof and trust perspective. If we go back again to that Mr. Pipeline conversation yesterday, they spent a lot of time around the metaphor of essentially like a digital street. It's like a storefront or like a main street, and we have all these little shops, and that's how people actually engage with the internet today. Having stuff like this out in front is that nice, beautiful sign. It's that big neon, that sign, all the nice, pretty frills on your storefront. That's what will attract people in and actually have you click and be on top of Google. This is what the results are going to be. You'll have more consistency, you'll have efficiency, you'll have higher response rates, and improve reputation management through our platform. We can go into a lot of detail about the platform itself right now. I intentionally left it a little vague, mostly because I wanted this to be a little bit more educational. Our platform will handle all of this at scale, so not only will we be able to send out the reviews, we'll additionally be able to collect them, republish them various different places. So to give you an example of that, going back here, we're going to be able to give the one review offer that'll be posted, let's say, to Google, for instance. After that's completed, you'll additionally be able to publish it multiple different places as well. And then automatically, you'll also be able to send out referrals and repeat requests. The repeats are amazing. If you do regular business with somebody, put them in that little flow every 3 months. You'll be able to send out the message that says basically, hey, thinking of you. We know that you do work around this month. We should do this. The reason why we should do this, let me remind you, here's a 5-star review that I just got last week. This just happened in your area. This could be you, and you already know my work. Other people seem to as well. Let's do work again. And that's what it's all about, making sure that not only you're getting those reviews at scale, you're doing it in an automated fashion and freeing up your time to actually get the good work done. I am about at time right now, but I want to leave you guys with this. Again, I don't want to belittle you guys. We're offering a really cool Buku discount. You don't have to use us. It's a 14-day free trial though, so no harm, no foul. And with that, I will take any questions. Oh yeah, I'll leave that on there. Sorry about that.
You say about the third and fourth touch point, the response rate goes up a lot. And what duration are you doing it within a couple of days, a week? How spread out is that?
So it's variable and customizable. I know we have a standard practice. Sean, if you can remind me what the standard is.
All campaigns, 1 text and 3 emails. Text will go right when the job is done. If they don't respond, then 2 days after, then 5 days after, and 5 days after they don't we're using our information to stagger the timing. Our goal is to hit your client with a notification, and we believe that they'll have 30 seconds or 1 minute to write the review to maximize the likelihood that you're tracking.
Can you, so currently what we do right now is when we send invoices out, a VA in the office would say, they got a Gmail account, boom, we hit them with a Google request, or we hit them with Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, can that be automated in there to where?
Oh yeah.
Instead of them having to pick, because that may be too much for people, I think. But if they have Gmail, it automatically offers to Google, and if not, is there a default that can say you can have send us a Facebook review or something?
Yeah, I can take that one as well. And we have a feature called Optimize, so we'll know what they're logged into already and have that be suggested first so that they have the activated right to write your review.
So short answer is yes. The long answer is yes. Great question, though. I appreciate you. Anybody else have any questions? Go for it, sir.
When you get a review, do you guys automatically put it like in the Facebook on like our Facebook page? Hey, Legacy Gutters, whatever, got a new 5-star review.
That's a good question. So let's say they go on Google first and leave a review there. That'll appear on Google natively. And then when I'm saying that we can put it multiple different places, it's essentially like Facebook is a great example. It'll be a Facebook post that says, hey, I just got this 5-star review from Alex. I cleaned his stuff. It was phenomenal. You can customize all of that. But that's what the extended reach or the publishing is. So it's not going to be a Facebook review in that facet. You'll get that genuine Google review, and then it'll be able to repost that and syndicate that across basically any channel that you want, if I'm summarizing. Right on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and again, we have a booth here. We'll be here tomorrow as well. We're happy to go into exhaustive detail about this. I want to generalize it a little bit more so to make sure that you guys can take actionable steps literally today, right after this, for whatever kind of review strategy you guys have. But these are all really great questions.
Do you have a baseline on what's the average success rate for this software? People get specifically Google reviews.
Specifically.
Requests, you might get 10 of them, 10%. That's about right.
Well, with specific Google, I can get back to you on specifically Google reviews as a metric. I know on average we'll do 4 times more reviews. Sean, if you have any other clarity on that, but
I'm happy to jump in. It's 30 to 40% net conversion rate on all customers. But then beyond that, if you're doing the small touch of incentivizing your tax ask on site, it'll exactly. And then if you're not doing anything, you're
30
doing
to 40%.
I think so. I mean, let's see. Give us time a customer. Let's see how many reviews get you. And then you'll be able to see those analytics for yourself firsthand, even on the 2-week trial and stuff. It's different for every business, and it really depends on how much conversation you have with your client, the rapport that you're building, and making it known to them that you're going to ask for that review, so that when they do see the notification, they're going to be ready.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the prep bin is important to the
totally.
That's good.
So I guess another question, sorry. So we use Jobber.
Right on.
So I don't want to, if we do, so go back to our whole, all of our clientele base, right, that hasn't posted reviews. Does it keep track of cause if they post a review, does it keep track of hey, that customer posted a review, so it doesn't keep sending them those messages?
Correct. So if you look at that 4 touch point flow, you can add more or less, but anytime somebody, whether it's the first touch point or the 20th touch point, as soon as they actually leave that review, it'll pull them out of that. And then you can additionally decide where they go next. So do I want to put them in a referral queue so I know 4 months from now to reach out to them again? Or do I want to put them more on a back burner thing, 6 months, a year from now, I'll reach out to them. So we'll have not only that control, but that additional control of what to do with them after.
Do we need to give you our data from Jobber, or do we give you access to Jobber to be able to do that? How does that work out? Or is that?
The latter. We have a direct integration with Jobber, so it's basically like a connector. It's like clicking buttons, so not terribly complicated. Usually we can either walk you through it or Jobber can separately walk you through it as well, just depending on your preference.
But it wouldn't be me, it'd be somebody, one of our VAs that does it.
Oh yeah, no, I know. You're big boss. You're fine, man.
Streamline of how that's going to work between her.
Right on.
Yeah.
Just to add on briefly that it's very fast, very easy, 10 minutes or less, and going back to the question about resoliciting, let's say you're doing a repeat business, we have something called a cool down period. When you collect that Google review from your customer, 6 months from now, if they update it, that'll still help you win on the local search, or you can solicit them for a Facebook review or something else at that point. You you can change that toggle as much as you would want, and when you sync over your customers from Jobber, you'll see exactly who has written you a 5-star review, who you've invited but hasn't left you a review, those who are still waiting for the review, etc. And you'll be able to see the technicians that are attributed to that review because we natively integrate with Jobber, so that data gets pulled over as well.
Perfect. Yeah, I need to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Please,
Stop by.
we'll be here.
I think I was on I was listening on a podcast, and I asked if you natively integrate with data boxes, or can you API into data boxes?
Ooh, you can probably API into, so we do, there's a couple different options as far as like connecting Nice Job to platforms. There's obviously the native integrations. Some companies will build third-party into us, so we might not be aware, but they have an integration that we just don't know about. Or we can use Zapier, which is like basically, yeah. So, say again?
I'm in a process. I need to learn Zapier, or I need to learn in one or the other.
Ooh, I mean, for my money, I'd say Zapier, but honestly, just go with whatever.
The learning curve's easier on Zapier.
I believe so, and this is just a personal preference at this point. I think their interface and the way that they go step by step in building the integration makes more sense. But again, I'm happy to do like a comparison with you and kind of see like which flow. I've worked in technology for like my entire career, so this is like stuff I just kind of talk about when I'm drinking. So yes, happy to have the conversation.
So on that note, are you using Xero, QuickBooks Online, or any of those integrations with DataBox?
Sorry, say that again.
Are you using Xero or QuickBooks
QuickBooks Online.
Perfect. So typically when we have our customers who are using software like DataBox, if we don't connect with the accounting software instead. So QuickBooks
I
Online.
want to go through QuickBooks Online.
Exactly.
Get in.
And as long as your name, like email, and phone number of your customers are going through when you're sending the invoice, we can just tag along when the invoice goes out. We like to think about that.
No, we don't use QuickBooks for invoicing. That's just payroll and bookkeeping.
No worries.
We're using another CRM
For what it's worth, as long as we can get the name, email, and phone number of your customer out, and we know when to invite them, that's all we need to automate.
Okay.
Yeah. Last.
And I can put all that data in DataBox?
Yeah, for sure. And then like absolute worst case scenario, you could do like a once a week CSV upload or something like that, but we're usually able to remind you of that.
Okay. We're switching. I need to find a solution, because the way we get reviews right now, we've been decently successful with it. It's unethical to Google standards. But we offer a new product, and we use warranties for our reviews. Anyway, we're offering new products, an upgraded product, and if I start mentioning warranties, I got to pull back from this method I've used that's been really successful for me, and I need something else that hopefully can be as successful.
Right on. Yeah, there's a huge conversation in general, like across anybody that uses technology around like what a good workflow should be. There's no one proper workflow, but really taking your time to think through what that workflow is really, really helpful. Like QuickBooks, for instance, has so many different tools, and there's so many different things you can do with it. So determining like how much of QuickBooks should I use, and if I also have Jobber, like should I like drop one or the other? Like what do these tools even do? There is so much you can actually speak to about that. Ironically, someone at like NAN or Zapier would be able to have that conversation with you because they're pretty unbiased and their goal is to create those workflows. So talk to somebody in that space, especially if you're using like a Zapier or an NAN, and just get their opinion.
I need to learn how to start. I want to Upwork interviewing people to teach
Nice,
right now.
nice. No, I like it. See, this is why you're here, man. You're trying to get all the good things.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any other questions? Lovely. Thank you guys so much. This has been phenomenal.
Give it up for